The observation deck of the Xylosian flagship Hammer of Eternity was not designed for comfort. It was designed for intimidation. A vast curve of transparent alloy looked out upon the spiral arms of the Milky Way, but the real view was closer, the blue-green marble called Earth, surrounded by a swarm of burning debris. That debris had been the United Nations home fleet. Fleet Commander Vex of the Xylosian Empire watched the last human dreadnought crack open like an egg. Oxygen vented in white plumes, then froze into glittering crystals. Tens of thousands of human souls, gone in seconds. He allowed himself a thin, satisfied smile. His mandibles clicked softly. No reinforcements detected. Commander, reported his tactical officer, a smaller, gray-skinned Xylosian named Law. Their outer colonies are 12 cycles away at best. The planet is defenseless. Vex turned his 3 eyes toward the holographic display. No energy spikes. No hidden weapons satellites. No emergency beacons. Just the terrified chatter of ground-based civilian networks. He had studied humanity for 3 solar cycles. They were clever, yes, tenacious, but they had made one fatal mistake. They had spread their military too thin, chasing ghosts in the outer rim. Now the core world lay open. Begin atmospheric entry, Vex commanded. Priority targets, communication arrays, power grids, and all military installations. We will not repeat the mistake of the Creech. We will erase their command structure before they can form a resistance. The Hammer of Eternity descended through clouds turned orange by burning cities. Below, on the surface, panic had given way to a strange, hollow quiet. People held each other in basements. Parents told children stories to mask the thunder. And in a small, rain-swept town called Millbrook, 300 kilometers from the nearest military base, a woman named Alara Vance stopped crying. She had been crying for 11 minutes. That was all the time she allowed herself. Her husband, Sergeant First Class Marcus Vance, had been on the dreadnought Indomitable, the one that had just shattered into 1,000,000 pieces on live feeds before the satellites went dark. Their 2 children, ages 6 and 4, were at school. The school that had been hit by a stray plasma bolt during the first orbital bombardment. She had seen the replay. There was no shelter. There was no warning. Alara was 34 years old. She stood 5 feet 6 inches tall. Before today, her greatest physical achievement had been carrying 2 grocery bags and a toddler up 3 flights of stairs. She was a linguist by training, a translator for interstellar trade negotiations. She spoke 14 alien languages, knew the trade laws of 40 systems, and could recite the Xylosian Articles of Surrender from memory. But none of that mattered now. What mattered was the small, locked cabinet in the garage. Her husband had shown her once, years ago, during a night when they both drank too much wine and talked about worst-case scenarios. If they ever come, he had said, and I'm not here, go to the cabinet. The code is your birthday. And Alara, don't be a hero. Just run. She punched in the code. The lock clicked open. Inside, a single Xylosian-made data spike, a portable battery pack, a worn leather glove, and a handwritten note from Marcus. The note said, "You always said words were stronger than bullets. Prove it." Alara took the data spike. She had seen one before, during a diplomatic mission to the Xylosian border station. It was a ghost drive interface designed to plug directly into a Xylosian neural command link. Every Xylosian warship had a master control node in the bridge. And every master control node had a physical access port because even the most advanced species understood the need for a hard reset. The Xylosians never imagined a human would know where that port was. They never imagined a human could read their tactical language, speak their command codes, or understand the precise sequence of overrides required to shut down a ship's defensive systems. They never imagined Alara Vance. The rain had stopped by the time she reached the outskirts of the city. The Xylosian landing zones were easy to find. Just follow the smoke. She had no weapons, no body armor, no backup. She wore a stained sweater, mud-caked boots, and her husband's wedding ring on a chain around her neck. 3 Xylosian patrol drones spotted her 2 kilometers from the primary landing zone. They were flying in a standard triangular formation, each carrying a low-yield pulse cannon, designed to suppress civilian movement, not engage military targets. She was not a military target. Alara did not run. She did not hide. She walked directly toward the drones, her hands visible at her sides, her face calm. The drones hovered, red targeting lasers painting her chest. She stopped, tilted her head, and spoke, not in English, in High Xylosian. The formal dialect reserved for officers and imperial decrees. By Article 7 of the Unified Combat Code, I claim right of parley under the ancient laws of the Xylosian people. My life is forfeit if I speak false. My demands are to be transmitted to the fleet commander without alteration. The drones paused. Their programming had no protocol for this. Parley was a Xylosian tradition, older than spaceflight. It had never been invoked by a member of a conquered species. But the code was absolute. Any being, any world, any station could request parley. To refuse was to invite shame that would echo through the Empire for generations. One drone detached and flew toward the hammer of eternity. The other two remained, their lasers never wavering. Ilara stood perfectly still, reciting poetry in her head. Marcus had loved that poem. The one about not going gentle into that good night. She intended to rage. But first, she had to get inside. 20 minutes later, the drone returned. A holographic projection flickered to life before her. Commander Vex's face, scaled and impassive. Human, you speak our tongue with a merchant's accent. You know our laws. This is unexpected. What is your demand? Ilara looked directly into the drone's optical sensor. I demand to be brought to your bridge. I demand to speak with your fleet commander face to face. And I demand that you honor the parley until my words are heard. Vex's mandibles twitched. And if I refuse? Then every Xylosian in this system will know that their commander broke the oldest law of the Empire. Your crew will whisper. Your enemies will laugh. Your name will be erased from the Hall of Command. You will become a cautionary tale told to hatchlings. Remember Vex, who feared a single unarmed woman. The silence stretched for 10 seconds. Then Vex laughed. It was a harsh, rattling sound. Bring her, he said. Strip her, skin her, remove anything metallic. But bring her. I want to see the face of this madness before I feed her to the recyclers. The interior of the Hammer of Eternity was a cathedral of war. Black metal corridors, pulsing with bioluminescent veins that carried nutrient fluid to the crew. The air smelled of ozone and alien sweat. Ilara was escorted by 4 armed guards, their plasma rifles pointed at her spine. She had been scanned, stripped, and given a thin gray jumpsuit. No shoes, no jewelry. Even Marcus's ring had been taken, but the data spike was not metal. It was crystalline, grown in a Xylosian lab, designed to be invisible to standard scanners. She had hidden it in the one place no Xylosian would think to search, inside her own mouth, pressed against her cheek. The guards had not asked her to open wide. They had assumed she was just another frightened animal. The bridge was enormous. A circular chamber with a domed ceiling that showed real-time views of the burning earth below. Dozens of Xylosian officers worked at consoles, their 3 hands dancing over holographic interfaces. In the center, raised on a platform, stood Commander Vex. He was larger than she had expected. His carapace was scarred from old battles. His central eye was a deep, calculating gold. You are here, Vex said. Speak your parley, human. What words could possibly save your planet? Ilara walked forward until she stood directly below his platform. She looked up at him, and for a moment, she let him see everything. The grief, the rage, the absolute, terrifying focus. I am not here to save my planet, she said. I am here to destroy yours. The bridge went silent. Then Vex laughed again, and this time his officers joined in. The laughter echoed off the curved walls, a chorus of contempt. With what? Vex asked. You have no weapons, no reinforcements. You are a single, unarmed female of a primitive species. You stand in the heart of the most powerful warship in this sector. And you threaten me. Ilara smiled. It was not a kind smile. You forgot something, Commander. I am a linguist. I speak 14 alien languages. I have memorized the Xylosian command codes, the emergency overrides, and the exact sequence required to initiate a full system purge. I have studied your ships, your tactics, your psychology. And I know something that you do not. She reached into her mouth and pulled out the data spike. It glowed faintly, already warm from her body heat. The Xylosian officers froze. Their scanners had missed it. Their arrogance had missed it. The Ghost Drive interface, Ilara said, holding it up. Every Xylosian warship has a master control node. Every node has a physical access port. And that port is located directly beneath the fleet commander's platform. Right where you are standing. Vex's golden eye widened. He looked down at the floor beneath his feet. A small, circular panel, almost invisible. A design feature so old, so rarely used, that most commanders forgot it existed. Guards! Vex shouted. Kill her! The plasma rifles rose. Elara did not flinch. She simply turned and ran. Not away from the platform. Toward it.